At least the music is pleasant while I wait for YouTube to catch up to my stream. See, there we are. Greetings everyone, I am Dr. J, and welcome to another case where I've got a lot of games in my backlog and need to get through them. So, for those of you who don't know, my main channel is primarily dedicated to game reviews, and oftentimes I don't have a lot of time to see to anything that I'm not actively reviewing. However, recently I realized, well, I've known this for a while, but some of the most well-performing videos on my main channel have been cRPGs, and at the moment I'm currently going through Knights of the Old Republic for a second and third time after finishing a replay recently. So my thinking is, you know what? I'm likely gonna go full mauler with the Knights of the Old Republic video, in that I'm gonna make multiple videos and it's gonna span the course of probably an entire year, honestly, to mention everything I wish to discuss, breaking it up into more manageable chunks based on the area. So my thinking is, while I'm working on that, while I'm getting through the rest of the games and while I'm starting to draft the scripts and get all that sorted, you know what would be nice to do on my Saturday evenings when I don't have anything else to worry about, and why the hell is this game deciding that now is the time when it start dropping frames? God. Man, my internet has been all kinds of crazy. But either way, independent of OBS deciding to be stupid, here we are, Pillars of Eternity. This is a game that I actually don't know all that much about. I remember it getting a glowing reception because it's an Obsidian game, and it's a cRPG, more to the point, and I can't remember if this was when Chris Avellone was still at the helm, and if it is, that's a good sign because, let's be honest, he's probably my favorite video game writer. I mean, between Knights of the Old Republic 2 and Planescape Torment, you don't get much better than that. So, I really don't know anything about the setting or story, whether it's real-time with pause or pure turn-based. I really know nothing about this game apart from the fact that it's Obsidian, and not only is it Obsidian, well, it's Obsidian. I guess they're really... Yeah, I'm just rambling at this point. I guess, yeah, since I'm just rambling, let's get on with it. Alright. Infinity Engine Veterans? Alright, what's this one? Alright, let's go with this. So what are these? What? That is insane. Why would you do that for a cRPG? Are you mad? What's this one? Do I want to turn that on or not? Do I feel like being a full-blown tryhard instead of mostly a tryhard? You know what, this is my first run with the game. Let's go ahead and keep it on. Also, let me know if the audio balance is fine. I'm pretty sure it's fine based on what I'm seeing on the waveforms, but just let me know if I need to adjust it at all. Alright, good start with the artwork, looks very pretty. Oh yes, very pretty indeed. That looks nice. Good.
5 wagons grope blindly for the path on a starless night, their master glancing ever upward to the skies for assurance that he is on the right course. A dim lantern his only protection against the encroaching darkness. But the skies bring no comfort, shining no light, betraying no hint of what they know. The caravan carries travelers bound for the frontier hamlet of Gilded Vale, you among them, where a local lord has offered land and wealth to settlers from abroad looking for a fresh start. You have taken suddenly ill, sweating and shivering, and one of the other travelers signals for the caravan master to stop on your behalf. He pulls up just in time to avoid plowing into the trunk of a fallen tree that bars the way ahead. You will go no further tonight.
Okay, interesting start. Let's see where they take this. I'm surprised they didn't give me any sort of character creation screen. Oh, here it is! Right on cue! Alright, so, since that I'm gonna be roleplay... Well, I guess I'll just roleplay as myself. Let's see how intuitive this is. Alright, so what are the different races? So, let's resolve. Okay, so... Alright, so resolve affects a few saving throws, and it looks like it's... Looks like it's a combination of wisdom, constitution, and charisma. What's might? Okay, that's the strength stat. Now, what are the other races? The mighty Almawa? I think that's how you pronounce it. The mighty Almawa are the largest of the Kith races and are commonly found in or near oceans. Though not truly aquatic, they have an affinity for water, and many of their civilizations, such as Rautai, are based on naval dominance. They're known for their unparalleled strength. Okay, so if I'm leaning into a fighter, I'd go for that. And dwarf. Huh, interesting that... Interesting that they would give might +2 for this, but then dwarf has this. Has debuffs to dexterity and constitution. I mean, it makes sense for dwarves, but I wonder if there would be story reasons that further hamstring them. Because because this is definitely a new race that I'm not familiar with, so it's possible that picking this could have all sorts of effects on the dialogue. But let's see. So dwarves and elves we know. What's the other one? Orlin. Another Kith race. Though many cultures don't consider them to be civilized at all. Although notable for their large ears, two-toned skin, and hirsute bodies, Orlins are commonly found in Glanfath, the Examital Plains, and part of the Direwood. They are known for their mental intensity and sharp senses. Okay, so these guys are more leaning into the mage classes by the looks of it. Yep, that looks like it would be the replacement for intelligence. Although it looks like they're mostly focused on and godlike. The godlike are children of the Kith, who have been blessed with physical aspects associated with the gods, though some do not consider it a blessing. These aspects may take many forms and often comes with mystical powers. Aberrant head shapes are typical, and godlike are unable to wear protective headgear as it's near impossible to find anything that fits. Because of their unusual nature and their inability to reproduce, godlike are often viewed with fear and wonder. Okay, so are the godlike basically demigods then? How do they come about if they're unable to reproduce then? Interesting. Are they basically the witchers of this world then? Could be. Well, I don't know too much about this world yet, so I guess we'll go fairly standard with human. Oh, different stuff. Okay, so I can choose generally where I'm from. Interesting, that's cool. Change the decals under the armor as well. Alright, so Meadowfolk. The most common humans in the Direwood, the Meadowfolk or Thurtan, have lived in that area for almost 2,000 years. Meadowfolk traditionally live at the edges of elven forests, working the open plains, hence their name. Most humans in the Direwood are Thurdan. Alright, so let's see, the Ocean Folk Kalbandra, I think it is, originated near the equator on the other side of the globe, and are currently the most widespread human group in that region, but they have also migrated to the far reaches of the world. Ocean folk are the dominant culture in the Valiant republics, and are also common in the Direwood. I take it we're starting in the Direwood, given that everything keeps mentioning it. And then the Savannah folk, the Natsland, come originally from just south of the equator, and with the exception of some groups that migrated north, have remained in that same location for over 10,000 years. The name Natland literally means original. While quite common in Red Seras, Savannah folk are not usually seen in the Direwood and the Valian republics. I can rotate around. I do like the hairstyle, but how generic do I want to go? Because I feel like I'm going a little too generic. Well, I guess that would be the benefit of playing this more than once, although I get the feeling that this may end up being the case for everything I do at this rate. So, normally when I play these kind of games, I'm usually I'm usually some kind of mage class, so let's see what they have for that. So, actually, real quick, what was the benefit of being human? Alright, once per encounter, 5 seconds after being reduced below 50 endurance. Short-term survivability, damage that is not absorbed by a character's damage reduction goes straight to their endurance and health. Potions and healing magic can restore endurance and combat. Back in combat through the use of revive. Otherwise, characters will gain all their endurance in the end of combat. Okay, interesting. So, Barbarian. Alright, high endurance. High health, accuracy, action. Alright, so not a whole lot in the way of defenses apart from sheer health, so it looks like they're probably more focused on... Oh yeah. Okay, so they are very much the AoE berserkers. Paladins. Martial zealots. Current bonus to all their defenses. Over the course of the game, the value of this bonus may shift based on the reputation the paladin gains relative to the behaviors that are preferred by his or her order. So, athletics. Okay, so in lore. Chanter. That's new. In every culture across Aora, there are chanters. Many historians consider chanters to be the most ancient workers of magic, their hallowed phrases stirring the collective memory of wayward souls around them, compelling them to generate magical effects in a kind of reenactment. In some societies, chanters form organized groups of storytellers and researchers, but in most parts of the world, they're just a time-honored part of local folk tradition. So all chanters can continuously speak chants made up of magical phrases. Phrases produce passive effects and help build the chanter's power until they can use an invocation. Then the invocations are powerful magical effects that chanters can create after they have spoken a required number of phrases through their chants. So it seems like in that case, the focus... Although given that you've got a two-handed axe, it seems like the focus there would be a mix of chanting, presumably... Actually, could you do those chants while you do melee attacks? Is that considered, I guess, whatever this system's version of a bonus action is? Or is that something that I'd have to worry about elsewhere? Let's see. And then the priest... That's... Alright, generates... Alright, so vessels seem to be something of either evil alignment or undead alignment. Most likely given that. Interesting. Then the cipher, what are these? A recent discovery in the Eastern Reach. Ciphers were once called Bishalglun mind hunters by the Glenfathans. Ciphers have the ability to directly contact and manipulate another person's soul and psyche, using an ally's or enemy's essence as the focus for their magic. Though most ciphers are still found in the Eastern Reach, practitioners of the technique have spread throughout the known world. They're gaining acceptance over time, but are generally distrusted, especially by the uneducated. Alright, so not very durable. Then the Ranger, that's relatively straightforward, and it looks like they lean into the Beastmaster gimmick for Rangers by the looks of that. Especially given their low endurance. So it looks like they're meant to be archers who are masters of beasts then. So the Druid... Alright, so Druids, it looks like it's focused on shapeshifters. Some support-oriented, interesting. Actually, in my current D&D game, I'm playing a Druid right now, so that could be fun. Then Rogues. Okay, so standard sneak attack by the looks of it. Yep, standard stuff. And then Fighter, that's straightforward. Lizard. 8 types of damage. Slash, pierce, crush, burn, shock, corrode, freeze, and raw. So damage types are used to determine how easily a target resists damage of that type. Some weapons or attack may do multiple damage types or list an or between their damage types. When an or is listed, the attack will always do the damage type that the target is most vulnerable to. Raw damage is the only damage type that ignores all damage reduction and is generally associated with poisons and similar effects. Whoa. That's useful. Okay, so wizards are the standard thing. I'm not seeing a straight up sorcerer though, so I guess that would be the Either the Cypher or the Chanter seems to be the closest that we have to a proper sorcerer. What about the Monk? Okay, so the Monk basically says, "Hurt me, daddy," and then just goes on and on. Got it. Let's see. What do I want to go with? I enjoy playing the Druid archetype. Let's go with this. Now, all Druids have mastered one animalistic form. These forms give the Druid strong melee abilities and grant an additional power while the Druid is shifted. High damage reduction. Good for regenerating lost endurance, inflicts dot with its melee attacks. Naturally fast attack. Stat. High defenses. All of these seem really powerful. Then again, given the circumstances, if it's anything like proper D&D, shapeshifting is mutually exclusive with spellcasting. So, let's go with Cat. Now, what is it saying? Okay, so, Strength, Constitution, Dexterity. Alright, so I've got that many points. How do I want to play this? Let's see. If I'm shape-shifting, then presumably I don't need to worry about Constitution as much. How's Perception? Okay, Dexterity just affects speed, Perception affects accuracy. Okay, so they're bound to separate things. That's smart, actually, now that I think of that. Am I okay with this setup? Looks like there's nothing in here that specifically refers to role-playing, so... I guess... Interesting. I guess they tried to remove charisma as the dump stat with their version. Alright, so now we get to choose the culture that we come from. So, Eder. That grants me extra resolve. Deadfire Archipelago. I guess we'll go ahead and read through these, see what I find interesting. The Eder Empire is currently the largest and most powerful force in this part of the world. It is centered around the equator and has a tropical climate. Though the Empire has colonies in numerous areas of the world, Greater Eder is at its heart, and houses the majority of its human and elven nations. The Deadfire Archipelago, consisting of the nations of Nasitak, dozens of Almau settlements, and hundreds of lawless, pirate-infested islands that stretch along the southern sea, Deadfire is home to boreal dwarves, Almau, and a mixed variety of other races. Deadfire Archipelago is the, quote, last stop for anyone headed east. A multitude of monstrous sea creatures infest the ocean beyond, making travel virtually impossible. The Ixamadal Plains. Located to the northeast of Il Glenfell, the Ixamadal Plains are a large expanse of fertile savannas that are extensively farmed by humans and Orlan residents. The Ixamadal culture is one of the oldest in the world, but one of the least imperialistic, having spread out little over the past several thousand years. Let's see. Once the crown jewel of the southern seas, Old Valia is now the crumbled remnants of an empire of warring merchant nations. Counting many humans and dwarves among their ranks, the old Valian countries are still forces to be reckoned with, and are proud of their rich cultural heritage. Dominated by the Almau nations of Rautai. The Gulf itself is host to a number of nations, most of them Almau, Orlan, and Dwarven. Though these countries are relatively young, they are some of the most advanced colonial settlements in the East. The Gulf is a land of riches and resources for those who can take them, though the entire coast is often pummeled by violent storms. The Living Lands is the mountainous region of a large northern island, renowned for its diversity of plant and animal life. Its weather is unpredictable, and its ecosystems vary dramatically from valley to valley. The living lands are home to an assortment of races in a variety of colonial and independent settlements. The Wens. A large, cracked southern expanse of polar ice. The White that Wens is home to pale elves and small colonies of daring explorers, outcasts, and adventurers. While virtually no plant life grows in the White, it is home to many hardy species of dangerous animals that forage from the sea or prey upon each other to survive. Okay, so a lot of interesting ideas. I wonder how this will affect roleplaying. Would make sense. Seems like a druid could thrive in pretty much any of these places, so... Let's go with this one. Alright, now the background. Let's see, aristocrat. So it looks like it affects a variety. So it looks like it'll affect a variety of skills. Let's see, so. Let's go with mercenary. I feel like that could be an interesting background for a druid. Now, appearance. There's a lot of different options, aren't there? What would be good? Alright, now we're getting into other races. Actually, for what I have in mind, that's probably the closest we've got. Let's see, so what's this effect? Okay, so secondary. Okay, so that's affecting the pants legs. Okay, that's affecting the main gambeson. Oh, jeez. Well, that gives me the option. I guess that would be fitting given the circumstances. Is there a... Ooh, I like that shade of green. Nice. Skin, yeah, we'll keep it that. There, can I make it red? Oh god, that's... Okay, that's a much brighter red than I usually intend. Let's go with that. Then it's a contrast, that should work. Oh jeez. Well, let's not go with that. Not a whole lot of options in facial structure. But then again, I'm pretty sure we're not going to be looking at facial structure all that much. God, that looks so flat. Too bad I can't zoom in. Yeah, that one probably looks the most normal out of everything. How does this one look from the back? Yeah, let's go with that.
Watch and learn. Yeah! I'll take a peek. Hey there.
Is that Matt Mercer? That sounds like Matt Mercer.
Watch and learn.
Ugh! They won't see me coming. Yes, now I am the leader of the group. No prisoners!
And that voice actor also sounds familiar.
Shh. I'm here. I'm flattered.
Ah!
I'm here. Follow me. Let's go! Steady does it. Yeah. Follow me. Let's go!
Time to see and not be seen. Yeah? I've got this. Let's go! Quickly and quietly.
Ready when you are.
I'll lead the way. You better run!
Quick and quiet. Just say the word.
I'll lead the way. Charge!
The better part of valor. I'm here.
Leading the way.
Ha!
The better part of valor. I'm here.
I shall lead us. Let us end this. To whispers and shadows. Yes?
Well, if I were going an elf, that would be the perfect voice, but
Watch and learn.
yeah, let's go with this. I like it. Now, what should I call you? What's a good druid name? A human. You know what? I'll just go with the name I'm using in my D&D group. The character's not human, but it should be fine. The caravan master finishes addressing the group, his bushy red mustache and sagging jowls quivering as if for emphasis.
Everybody stays close to the wagons, got it? Stay out of the woods, and beasts take you if you were planning a stroll through those ruins up there.
He nods toward a looming black mass on the hillside.
Whole area's crawling with hut-dwelling types who'd be happy to stick an axe in you for trespassing. So mind that you don't track mud on their sacred blazing rocks. Tonight, everybody stays put, and in the morning we'll get the path cleared. Gilded Vale's less than a day out. Understood?
At last, the caravan master turns to you, frowning as he looks you over.
Touch of the rumbling rot, could be. There's a stinging beetle round here, carries it. You'll be fine once it passes your innards. Unless you don't drink water, course. Which case you'll be dead in a day. There's a berry grows in these parts, small and pink, called a springberry. About the size of a fingernail. Give you cramps if you eat it, but the frontiersmen make a tea from it. Calms the insides. Should get you through the night. You might check around, see if you can find some. Meanwhile, I'll see if we can scare you up some water. I know you want to hunt before it gets much darker, but see about refilling our water first. Got a sick one here.
Odima looks over his shoulder at his assistant, a lanky, intense man named Sparfell, who carries an old sun-bleached bow. He nods in your direction. Sparfell nods and slides the worn bow over his shoulder. Where would I find these berries?
They grow on a bush that's common round here, kind of funny looking. You'll know it when you see it. Doubt you'd have to go far off the road to find one.
Oh hey, it darkens the text that I've already checked out. Nice. What are those ruins?
Nothing you won't see on half the hills of Air Glonfoth. Money to be made selling their knickknacks in Defiance Bay, if you don't mind getting stuck with Glonfoth and arrows now and again. They didn't build them, but I'll be the effigy if they don't watch them like a mother bear. Of course, all the ones around here have been ransacked 10 times over. Got nothing left worth half a pawn, so I hear.
Who did build the ruins?
Got different names for them. Settlers called them Ingwithans. Nobody that liked them enough to stop them becoming ruins, tell you that much.
Is it dangerous out here?
Not if you hurry about your business, and not if the weather holds up.
There's concern in his tone, but he does not elaborate. What kind of weather did they get out here?
This time of year, rain mostly, and wind. But there's a different kind of wind out here time to time. Locals call it a beowick, born out of the ether, the spirit's path. Never seen it myself, never care to.
What are these huge rocks coming up out of the ground?
They don't got Adra where you come from? Well, it just grows up out of the ground like this. Goes deep like tree roots. Some of it all the way to the heart of the world, you believe the stories. It's more like a shell than a proper rock. Easier to work if you're a mason. Got all kinds of strange properties. Seems to have some kind of life of its own. Dies if it gets dug up. Loses its luster. Folks think it probably grew at one point or another, but not these days. The soul butchers in Defiance Bay use it for different things. I've heard tell it can hold a man's soul, but I don't care to see it. Got enough to worry about without seeing something like that.
I'll go see about those berries then.
Hold on. Take someone with you. I know you're not some helpless tenderfoot, not like most of this lot. But you drop dead, I don't want to be looking for the body. Got a schedule to keep.
He scans over the travelers, resting his eye at length on a sturdy armor-clad woman who has spent the journey's night sleeping on uneven ground without blanket or pillow.
Kalisha. Kalisha!
The woman looks up on her own time.
He needs to find some spring berries. Watch that he doesn't drop dead.
No promises.
What kind of guide says something like that?
Kind you can afford.
Don't listen to her. You're in good hands. And I pay too well, if anything.
Oh, man.
Off with you. Hayden should have supplies. See that you're equipped before you head out. We're in harsh country. Get your berries and hurry back. And if you get so much as a tickle of wind, you drop everything and you run. Something in the air tonight. If it's a Beawick, we'll shelter in the ruins. Hut dwellers be damned.
You heard the man. Let's get going before you keel over.
Alright, so. Let's pause so I can get a lay of the land. Okay, so. Calendar down there. Formations here. Yep, this is Infinity Engine. Definitely not, well, it's not actual Infinity Engine, the fact that it's 60 FPS, but yeah, you take one look at this, it's got Infinity Engine written all over how it's structured. Alright, so character information here. So, you are a fighter. Oh, folk. Okay, so, from the same... So, from the Drywood, explorer. It's a fairly sturdy fighter by the looks of it. So it looks like this is more... Alright, so these are all the inventory screens. So, what's this? Huh? How much you... Wait. Did they really give me my own boo? Can I tell it to go for the eyes? Can I please tell me it to go for the eyes? Why did they give me my own boo? Also, what's this? Gaun's Pledge. This item grants the ability to shield the wearer from the myriad perils that plague the world of Eora. An aspect of the god Eothas, Gaun represents the harvest of old age, symbolized here by the many interlocking sickles that form the ring. As Gaun helps protect the dignity of old age, so too do his followers pledge to prevent young lives from being harvested before their time. Alright, I'll take a bit of extra. Crafting. There's a crafting system? I have to worry about food? Alright, ooh, it shows everybody's inventory. That's very useful. Alright, party always gets... Yep. Alright, what else do they got? Alright. Okay, so they've laid out things pretty nicely now that I look at this. So do these count as the chapters then, or... No, not necessarily. Alright, cycle. Alright, ooh, and I can write down my own notes. Very useful. And they give me my own space for it, so I'm not... Don't own the stronghold yet. And then game settings in here. Cool.
Sure.
Huh. Ooh, it's actually pretty fast. Fast mode active. Oh, that's why. Is there a quicker way to move?
Anyone need supplies? I've got sundries for sale.
You see a man wearing simple but mostly neat clothes. He's transfixed, however, by a ragged tear in the seam of his tunic.
Brought a whole wagon full of goods to sell, but not enough shirts for the road.
He scratches one cheek with his knuckles. It's covered with uneven stubble, as if he hasn't quite gotten used to shaving on the road.
Say, is there anything you need? I've got some basic traveling supplies for sale if you'd like to take a look.
Who are you?
I'm a trader, originally from the Adir Empire, but I've been trying to establish new business out here. Life on the road has brought some unexpected challenges, to be sure. And I'm sure you've noticed how prickly the locals can be. But we're here to make the most of things, right?
With an outlook like that, I'm sure you'll do well. We'll see, I suppose. I'm just trying to do right by my family.
Something else you need? Looks like we're settled for the night.
Tell me about the Adir Empire.
It's not as big as it used to be, but it's still big. The mainland is a continent northwest of here, but the colonies used to include Raed Saris and the Deerwood. About 150 years ago, Deerwood won its independence from the Empire, a fact our companions are quick to remind me of.
Okay, so disposition will affect things. Interesting. So they'll actually roleplay based on my personality. I'll actually have a reputation beyond just a number of good or evil. Nice. Why'd you move all the way out here?
Because it seemed friendlier than Raed Saris? My brothers took over the family mercantile business a few years ago, and there wasn't enough for me to do back home. I moved out to try and expand.
Briarwood is a former Adir colony, so it seemed like a good place to start. And as much as I admire the Red Saren's work ethic, they've always struck me as a little fanatical. Sounds reasonable enough? Alright, so this is where we get basic weaponry and such, so... Alright, so I got 100 copper, so basic stuff. What have I got in terms of weapons? Okay. So I've got a poleaxe on me, and you have a battle axe plus torch. Oh wow, surprisingly high damage on everything. Good lord. It's gonna take some getting used to how the numbers work in this game. Okay, so scouting mode is used for both stealth and for finding hidden objects like trap and stealth secret containers. Oh, did I hit a button or something?
Stay quiet.
I'll have your water soon enough. Stream's not going anywhere.
Alright, what's... Actually, here's what I need to figure out right now. So, what are the... Let's see. Controls. What's the quick save button? I'm gonna need to know that. F5? Got it.
Let's check by those outcrops.
Alright, so I've got a bunch of different things. A lot of AoE stuff. Is there anything I have that isn't AoE? Okay, so it looks like endurance acts as a buffer of sorts. Okay, sorry. Oh, that's why I messed up. I'm used to hitting Alt in order to see what's on ground. So wolf hides, take all.
Sure.
This is it.
You look like you've seen your share of action. What'd you do before you came out here? I was a blade for hire. Yeah? How is it you happen to come here? I've never been much good at anything else, but I need to go where there's work that pays. You do what you can to survive. What else can someone be expected to do? Kalisa breathes in her surroundings. Been a long time since I've been this way, but I always did like it. Lord Raedric's offer. Makes a girl think, I'll give him that. You here to settle like the rest of the lot? Hadn't given it much thought. No harm in that. Might as well see the place first. So you must have some other plan in mind for coming this way. Getting into trouble, I expect. Ha! You've come to the right country. This whole place is crawling with troublemakers. It's a point of pride for them. Anyway, I'm wasting time here. Odema will give me an earful. Let's be on our way. Why are you here? Kaliska sighs unevenly. Her eyes search the ground at her feet. My sister moved out here some time back. She sent me a letter. She seemed worried. But that's how she always is. This time, though, she asked me to come out. And that's got me a little worried. I haven't seen her in ages. Been doing guide work in Examinal. But I'd do anything for her. She's a much better woman than me. So I'm here and we'll see. Odema I've worked with before. He doesn't usually drive her out this way, but he's doing it for me. Tell me about yourself. I've got simple needs. I like open skies and far horizons. I find work that lets me live that way. My family wanders too. We started in Direwood, but my parents ended up in the Living Lands. I've got a brother in Rautai and another in Ader. My sister in Gilded Vale, she's the only real homebody. What can you tell me about Drywood? I'm not much for history, but from what I know, it used to be part of the Ader Empire. Broke off after a war some years back. The locals here are feisty, and that's how they like it. I've been out of touch, but I've been hearing weird kinds of things about it lately. People having trouble giving birth, I guess. A lot of them. Been going on for years now, but somehow it's getting worse. With an uneasy tremor in her voice, she adds, I'll have to ask my sister more about it. Alright, let's get back to camp. You know, I wouldn't hold my breath that Sparfell's getting you water anytime soon. He does what he feels like when he feels like. We should check up on him first. Slap him around a little. Stream's just down that way. Come on, let's get you your water. Oh, he's not there. High five? Oh hey, you've even heard the sound effects from the water rushing by. Save early, save often. When in doubt, quick save.
Stay quiet.
Friend lady. Friend lady added to stash. I'm gonna be obsessively clicking on everything now, aren't I? Oh, there's... Oh, I can zoom out? Cool. Travelers, maybe. Or looters. Or bandits. Bad sign anyway, you figure it. The corpse is cold to the touch, and a ripe smell wafts from it in putrid waves. A dark-crusted blood stain. A dark-crusted blood stain besmirches its simple linen clothing. Leather armor and some lockpicks. Rogues, most likely, then. Or someone who just got into trouble, perhaps. Luckily...
Barfel went hunting. At least he left the water skins. Come on.
You crouch at the riverbank and dip your water skin into the cool water while Callisto waits nearby, keeping watch. As you rise, you notice her look up sharply towards the tree line. Oh, use the tab key for what I was thinking of. Out of the trees emerged Sparfell, one of the guides, barely discernible in the dim moonlight. He no longer carries his bow, and there is a strangeness to his gait, his stride wobbly as he moves towards you with labored breath.
Sparfel? Are you alright?
Sparfel's toe catches on a rock, and he collapses forward in a heap. The feathered shaft of an arrow planted between his shoulders like an enemy flag. Well, that's a bad sign.
Ambush!
Alright, what are you armed with? Sword? Might not be a bad time to use one of these. Let's see if I can predict this. You go for him.
Hey there.
Oh, shoot. You actually have a bow. Okay, let's throw another spell in your general direction, then.
Oh, I'll teach you a lesson.
Alright, that's both of them down.
Camp.
And I interrupted dialogue, didn't I? Well, at least I've got a bow
Yeah.
now in case I need it.
Hey there.
Yep, that was all my spells, so hopefully I won't
Sure.
need any more. Footprints around the campfire are indistinct. It may have been here for days or longer. Well, they won't need to heal anytime soon, although it looks like the stamina system allows us to get away with a lot. Oh, hi! Friends! Well, go for the archer first. Ah, crap. No time to go for the archer. Okay, you can go for the archer, then. Can you shapeshift? Yes. I'm surprised there's no shapeshifting limit, honestly. What do you have? Knocked down. Go for it. Boom! Nice. Oh, hey,
Hey there.
let me pick up the loot from both those guys at once. That's useful. Oh, that's a really bad sign. All around you lie the massacred remains of other travelers, peppered with arrows and knife hills, splayed and bug-eyed and filthy. Calliska puts the back of her left hand to her mouth, as if to ward away some poisonous vapor. A handful of dark figures stand above the fallen, treading on limbs and backs and heads, jerking their axes from bodies as if from half-split logs. One of them, towering and severe with a thick beard tasseled with knots, holds a wet blade at the neck of the young man you recognize as Heoden, the last of your caravan left standing. Lay down your arms, trespasser. Do not forfeit this man's life for a fight you will lose. The ruin has not been sullied by our hands, men of Erglanfath. Your words carry no weight when I have seen the truth with my own eyes. Blood must be paid for this intrusion. So I say again, lay down your arms. Don't trust them. They mean to kill us all. Let me think. Judging by the string of animal teeth around your neck, I am guessing you are worshippers of Galawain. If Galawain told you to stop protecting the ruins, would you? The man frowns and motions as if to swing his axe. Theoden winces, but the blow never comes. Immediately, instead the man cocks his head, intrigued. Of course, but he would not. It is by the command of all the gods that we accept this charge. How do you know? Because it's consistent with their beliefs or because it's what you were told? The man glares. It has always been known to my people. I see. And what of Galawain's edict that weakness of age must be purged by youth and strength? You think Galawain would want some moldy, crumbling stones to survive long after their builders have turned to dust? The man's nostrils flare as he fumes. He would not. He told us otherwise. I'm sure he did. Just not you personally. But why should that stop you from killing innocents? Distracted by acted, the man's grip falters on his axe handle, and he nearly fumbles it, affording Heodan the moment he needs to dodge out of his swing, which comes too late. Howling with rage, the man charges you instead. Oh hey! A new party member! Alright, so... I'm gonna regret not having my spells now. Alright, I need to shapeshift. Let's have you knock down the leader. What do you know? Oh, you're a rogue, aren't you? You are a rogue. Blind him.
Hey there.
You need to get out of there. Then attempt blinding strike on him. Let's lead him around on a merry chase, shall we? Okay, do you care not stand around? Okay, so I use arrow keys. Actually, does he have any other weapons I can switch to? Or perhaps give him the bow. Although, do we need arrows at all? Actually, what do you have? So, twin daggers. Alright, so can't change in combat. But presumably if we have a weapon set already prepared, we can switch to that.
What you need?
Alright, so he's likely going to go down, but looking at his health, he will be... Oh, looks like we're fine, actually. Your enemy lies supine on the ground. Oh, that's a word. Unable to rise. His companion's now silent among the other dead. His breath comes in wheezing, fitful gasps. He looks not at you, but at the sky above you. Forgive us. Barely audible beneath his choked sighs, a whisper of wind stirs the air. At this, the man's eyes roll back as he closes them. Good. Good. The gods are just. A queer smile crosses his face. I am ready. The wind begins to swell, whipping around the camp, electric and volatile, upending pots and rattling tents like an angry spirit. You can feel it begin to seep beneath your skin, and where it pierces you, it feels as though it is rending you apart from within. Seated against a wagon wheel amidst the howling maelstrom, slashed across chest and bowel, Odima's body stirs, and with great effort he raises his sagging head, his eyes barely open. He looks directly at you.
Get inside! Run!
That's special. Straining against a gale that threatens to pull you off your feet with every step, you set your hands in the worn folds of weathered rock and set about pulling yourself up the precipice. With a last burst of energy before your arms give out, you swing yourselves up onto the ledge. Theoden trails behind, slowed by injury and delayed by early hesitation. As he nears the face of the rock, one of the fallen attackers, who had been feigning death, lunges for Theoden and topples him onto the rocky ground. Restrained, Theoden lashes out against his fatigued assailant, but struggles to break his hold. They are close to you. Despite the wind, from your position, if you were to throw the weapon at the attacker, you would have a good chance at hitting your mark. Your aim is true, and the hit jars Theoden loose. Lurching to his feet, Theoden clambers up the base of the rocks. As he nears the top, however, the wind flares, pulling him sideways and tearing one of his hands free. But driving out into the hard rock, you manage to catch hold of it. Securing his other hand, you pull with waning strength, and it feels as though your arm will be jerked from their sockets. They hold just long enough for Theoden to set his feet and join you on the trembling ledge. There's a deep resonance. Oh. There's a deep resonance to the swelling wind now. You feel it in the rocks beneath your feet and inside the cavity of your own chest, as though it would shake the marrow from your bones. Each new gust menaces the old stones before you, loosening connections, unsettling balances. As you dart beneath the old archway, the entire portal begins to fall beneath its own weight. Oh, that's lovely.
Was that?
A Bewick. Had to be.
And we're lucky to be alive.
And we're the only ones.
There could be another collapse. We're not getting out that way anyway. Let's get further inside.
A moment's respite. Alright, caravan has been ambushed by Glenfathen warriors. Illness is the least of my worries now. I wondered if he would be a party member.
Hey there.
Can I rest?
Sure.
Probably not. The lower level of the ruin has been blocked off by fallen rubble.
That should be far enough. But what now?
Storm has to die sometime.
What happened out there? Kaliska shakes her head. Windstorm, of a kind they only get in Air Glenfath. Not too many people live through them, so it's hard to know what's true. The Glenfathan word is Biowak. To them, it's the gods' way of reaping the souls of the land that couldn't find their own way out. But they'll take a living soul as soon as a dead one. Still got yours? Who attacked us? Glenfathans, those be the hut dwellers Odima warned you about. Look to be fangs of Galawain, who are in their who are the twitchiest of the lot. They go ruin to ruin looking for fights with colonists. Poor Odima. I think he has expected this once we lost the main road. The Glenfathans said we trespassed in the ruins. I don't believe that. Odima would never allow it. But as much as the fangs are hotheads, Glenfathans don't attack without being provoked. Either they saw something and got the wrong idea, or she glances down the passage beyond. Or there's looters in here with us. That's not something we need right now. What about everyone else in our caravan? Kaliska's lips pressed together and her chin rumbles. Her voice is faint. The wheels got a hold of them now. She looks up. Gods grant them better luck in their next lives. You don't seem too upset about all this. Kaliska looks you in the eyes, a volatile current running beneath her voice. Maybe you just don't know me enough to know what upset looks like. And maybe I've seen worse too. Seen worse and kept on walking because there's nothing else to be done. And because there's other people you care about who still need you. Okay, message received. Looters, huh? Why do I get the feeling that's exactly... Hello, what are you? A trembling, sickly creature emerges from the dark, clutching a spear. Knobby elbows and thin ribs show through its scaly flesh. Then you recognize it as a Zarib. It watches you closely, breathing in ragged sighs. It's okay. I won't hurt you. The Zarib recoils, fingers still wrapped tightly around its spear. The creature cocks its head and approaches you, a soft clicking sound emanating from the back of its throat. The creature sniffs around you and finds nothing of interest. It steps back and resumes its defensive posture. I have no interest in initiating combat right now, not until I know more about what's in this place.
Look at the tiles. What are those symbols? I'll be quiet. Worth a look.
Hey there.
It looks like we're running experience for all these. May as well unlock all of them then.
Found something.
I'm glad that they just have it where you see it, you just focus on disarming it rather than stepping on top of it. That's a really nice quality of life change. Very much obliged. Very much obliged.
Yeah?
Do you feel that? There's a draft coming through that wall. I don't hear any sign of that storm either.
Why do I get the feeling this is the way forward? Alright. Simple spiders, easy enough to deal with. So it looks... So I guess... Endurance is...
I could scout ahead, see what's around the corner.
Doo-doo. 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 Hello. Oh crap, it sees you.
Yeah.
Get him.
Yeah?
Blinding strike. Knock it over.
Hey there.
Nice. What's this?
They'll never know I'm here.
Starved whelp. Oh, that's effective. Stunned. Ah, the old-fashioned giblets when you overkill them.
Sure.
A crack runs along the wall from floor to ceiling. A light gust of air passes through it. Let's not push that yet.
Yeah?
Oh wait, that's endurance, not health. Crap. Well, that was a waste. Why did I quick save after wasting that? Despite the damage, the stone looks solid. You push with all your might and the crack begins to spread. Finally, you feel the ancient masonry give way. The wall crashes down, revealing a circular room ahead. Cool. Honestly surprised it didn't crash right on top of me.
Stay quiet.
Huh? Huh. Stash. So I guess the stash is for crafting and whatnot.
Hey there.
Also, what happened to your weapon? What's that? Give yourself the bow just in case. Given that you're a rogue, you also take a bow. Alright, hide armor. As compared to... Alright, damage... Alright, so what's DR? Damage reduction. Okay, so it's focused on damage reduction rather than armor class. Got it. Alright, let's see. 5%. Okay, so it's a little faster, but not as durable. Yeah, that's fine.
Hey there.
Take all.
Do you hear that?
Take all. Oh wow, there's some good stuff on there. Gwithin Relief Gem. Tattered Journal. This small folio is torn in several places, and blood is soaked into several of the sheets. One later entry is still legible, however. I can't believe my luck. A few rounds of dice and I've got my hands on a genuine and wig-thin artifact. The fellow who had it said it was a pretty nothing as far as he's concerned. He's not willing to go digging in some ruins. But if he's right about this gem leading to a hidden treasure, then that's worth sneaking past a few painted elves. I'll head to Silant List this morning. Then it's just a matter of finding this relief he was talking about.
Hey there.
That must have been what set off the people who attacked the camp. Looks like there is something past that Tsar ring. Is it worth trying to fight it? Doesn't look like there's anything more this way. Is there an opportunity to rest? Well, let's keep looking in this direction. That's not too okay, that one might be a little dangerous though.
Show 'em how.
Huh, I don't have to worry about ammo? What'd I pick up? Oh, spider leg. Okay. So
Hey
it's...
there.
Shh. Rapier. Bats as large as chickens are strung on this web. Oh, that's disturbing. Helmet. Couple of gems. This looks like another part of the dungeon. Let's check it out. You can always go back to the quick save. Yeah, this looks like it's moving further along the story. Let's come back here later. Make sure we fully explore this place before we do this. Let's treat it as a proper RPG. What might this be?
Those symbols. Just like the tiles. What you need?
A symbol of interwoven rings is inscribed on this pillar. An unlit brazier sits at its base. It could be lit if you had the means. So each of them bears a symbol. Not unlike what's over here. Is there a pattern to them? I mean, I could just attempt... Well, let's go ahead and see what kind of effect we have when we light them.
Hey there.
This mural must be ancient, yet the colors are still bright and vivid. It shows a procession. Let's see. It shows a procession of Engwithians from all the Kith races: Amawa, Elf, Orlan, Dwarf, and Human. They walk among pillars similar to the ones that span the chamber, each one topped with flame. Wonder what kind of special thing is associated with them. Although it looks like only a godlike can truly open what's in here. Black tubes. Oh, holy crap, that was a lot. Everyone killed.
Show him how it's...
That hurts. Alright. Who's plasma?
Where'd that slime come from?
Viscous and oily, this muck clings to anything it touches. Now what might this be? A viscous slick of something dark and tar-like runs down this wall. The shapes and bulges in the ooze suggest that something lies beneath it, but you can't tell what. Let's take the risk. You rinse the ooze away, revealing an intricate relief of a man's face. The sunburst surrounding it is chipped away in places, but the details of his head, from the tight curls of hair to the ridges of its pointed ears, still showcase remarkable craftsmanship. One eye socket is empty. A gem fills the other. The chamber begins to rumble, stray rocks dancing along the tile floor. Finally, a large section of the wall gives way.
Hey there.
Oh, that's comforting. Equip a bow. Well, I guess you technically can't be knocked down, so I guess that makes sense. Why would you keep targeting me?
Hey there.
Why would you target me? Shh. There better be something good in here. A minor cloak of protection. That's good. I'm taking that because I like living. Health reaches 0, the character will immediately drop. Depending on your difficulty setting, the character will either be maimed or killed. A maimed character suffers severe combat penalties and will die if they take additional damage. Killed characters are just dead. And in Pillars of Eternity, there's no coming back. Well, shit. Where's that cloak? Alright, what's it provide? Minor cloak of protection. +5 on a bunch of saves. And a helmet. Alright, so it doesn't seem like there's anything super interesting there. I'm not seeing any weight limit associated with our inventory. Let's see. Up to 18. Ooh, actually more powerful. Let's go with it.
Hey there.
Especially since someone thinks I should keep getting mauled. Though, to be fair, I did set this to hard mode, so I probably shouldn't be surprised that it's giving me grief. As in, explicitly targeting my main dude. I just hope there'll be a place to camp up here, as apparently we can't just rest whenever. Hello. 4 figures stand before an otherworldly apparatus, an ancient structure of chiseled adra and metallic veins, ominous and looming like a silent observer. Standing motionless in their midst is what appears to be a human body, colorless as stone, or ash. The other figures gaze upon it in what might be contemplation. From your vantage point, you are well obscured from their view. The figure closest to the machine stands out among them. A thick gray beard frames a face otherwise hidden behind a metallic mask. His faded robes are embroidered with a runic language unlike anything you have ever seen, and he wears a strange black headdress with 2 protrusions that jut out like the wings of some malevolent creature.
Oathbinder, bear witness, and see this man has kept his word true to his last breath, full to his blood's last drop. Guide his soul, queen that was, and regard it among your favored. Let his life by the key be his confession. Let his death by the key be his absolution. May he walk the world ever free of the crushing weight of the book. Your brother has done his part, and you have seen the power of his contribution. I will accept no further hesitation from the rest of you. In the sight of the queen that was, will you fulfill the oath? Will you take your place beside your brother in the endless esteem of her memory that is without flaw? Step forth, and be assured of the great worth of your life's course.
Oh, this looks like it'll go well. I'm sure this will have absolutely no negative repercussions. For an instant, the apparatus goes quiet and the air is still. Then, all at once, it erupts with a concussive surge. Light floods your vision, and you are knocked to the ground. Your head snaps back as you land, and pain wells into the back of your skull, washing your last thoughts away into the black unconscious void. You open your eyes to a different place, another time. You stand in a circular room, grand and domed, its walls lined with adra and trimmed with copper. The style is ancient, but the chamber is unweathered. As at the far end, a great pillar of adra pierces the floor from below, its shimmering texture giving the illusion of boundless depth. Encircling the pillar is an apparatus much like the one you have just seen, but immense and multifaceted and intertwined. Your thoughts are yours and not yours, and they seem to exist before you think them, and they are all questions, pressing questions, troubling questions, questions that must be answered or... At the base of the pillar now, you see a man with a thick gray beard and ceremonial robe, crowned with a strange ornamental headdress. You know this man. You are walking toward him now at a pace that is hurried while trying not to appear so. You have something you will want to ask him, one question above all else, and the question spins madly in your mind. You awaken to find your malaise is broken, only to be replaced with something far more concerning. Faint whispers are audible at the edge of your hearing, like a ringing in your ears that does not subside. Movement flits through your periphery, but when you turn to look, you can see no sign of whatever it was. You find your gaze regularly darting this way and that way, an involuntary, paranoid tic. If this is a sickness, it may be dangerous to go without treatment for long. The figures of the machine stand frozen in place, flesh and blood replaced by cinders and ash. The man who led them is nowhere to be seen. Gee, fatigued? I'm not surprised. Theoden and Calliska lie bloody on the uneven cobweb, their bodies twisted unnaturally in death. Aww. You are alone, and far from help. Gilded Veil may be your best hope of receiving treatment before things get worse. That's greatly disappointing.
Yeah?
Alright, so I can rank up various and sundry skills. So, let's see what we get. So, survival. What kind of stuff can we get? So, survival allows a character each time they camp. So what's mechanics? Alright, that makes it easier to get rid of traps. Lore. Activate scroll. Second wind. Class unlocks. So I can choose one of these talents, I suppose. So talents can be used to customize your character onto your class ability choices. Some talents modify existing abilities, but others add new abilities of their own. A subset of talents are class specific, but most can be taken by characters of any class. Okay, so I can either lean into the damage from that. That's right. Friendly target. Okay, so it allows me to get a small AoE heal on allies by the looks of it. And any vessel, as it were, is burned. So our vessel's the undead of this world? Let's see, sneak attack I'm not really leaning into. Enigma's charm, what's this do? Foe charmed for a few seconds, that's useful. So it's based on but the problem is that it's allied accuracy versus my will. So it's my accuracy versus their will, I think. Yeah, that's not I don't like those odds. Gallant's focus. It's for accuracy. Don't care. Novice's suffering. That seems to be more for monks. Commander's frenzy. Prestidigitator's missiles. Okay, so that's a spell. Primer's summon. Runner's wounding shot. Interesting. I think we're gonna go with Wild Strike. Let's see, what's more likely to be useful? I'm thinking Wild Strike Shock. Done.
Sure.
Oh, that's comforting, whatever's going on. getting these flashes, though. Its massive structure is formed of stone, adra, and copper, and covered in strange glyphs. The air about it vibrates with an unusual energy. Looks like my only choice is to go to Valewood.
What's the hurry? Let's relax a while.
Oh, this looks comforting. Camping supplies. You've discovered some camping supplies. You can use these to rest in the wilderness or dungeons, fully restoring all your character's abilities and health. Each difficulty allows you to carry more camping supplies, but hard restricts them severely. If you fully run out of camping supplies, try to find an inn. Most have cheap rooms available. Alrighty. So, I wonder what awaits us through here. The heck? What did I just see? I didn't just imagine that, did I? Ah, outlaw. Will you just die already? There we go. Thank you for your cooperation in death. Oh hey, neat. The heck are you guys? The young dwarf tending to the stew looks up startled as he sees you approach. He drops his ladle, spattering stew across the ground. What? The bandit turns. Get him, you dogs, and make sure our new cook don't run off. Help, please! Help! Ah! One of the bandits gives Tenfrith a kick as they pass him, and he huddles. Tenfrith? What do I have in the way of me away from these guys?
Lava! I'll teach you a... Show him how it's done!
Why don't you change your weapon? There's no way you get good attack strength. Come on, don't you get a -4 or something like that if you're attacking from range? Quick, loot the bodies. Oh, I need to get stuff.
Well met, friend.
By the flame, thank you. Thank you, thank you. I thought I'd be stuck cooking for these ignorant weasels for the rest of my life. Or until they were bored with me, I suppose. I must get back home. I only hope they haven't hired a replacement. The dwarf looks aghast. Listen, next time you're in Gilded Vale, stop by the Black Hound Inn. I'll let Pasca know just what you've done for me, and I'm sure she'll do right by you in turn. Oh, to be back at my oven again. Alright, cool.
Sure.
Tent is empty, but for a pair of stained cots and the stink of unwashed bodies. Okay, there we go. That's better. At least for how I tend to play.
I'll take a peek.
Shattered pieces of a crater strewn across the dust, along with a few muddy vegetables. Looks like a main road. Who might you be?
How do you do?
This man appears to be hurriedly dismantling his camp in quick, jerky movements. He looks up at you as you approach, his expression tense and drawn. Greetings, he says, a little breathless. On your way south, is it? He wipes his brow, turning to face you. The sooner you're clear of these woods, the better, I think. Our caravan was attacked. I've been trying to get to Gilded Vale. Hard luck, and I'm sorry to hear it. You'll be fine from here. There's no missing the Vale if you keep to the road, and you haven't far to walk. But you want to keep clear of this place after that. We were just attacked north of here. Me and a friend of mine. We came out here to hunt some deer. Came up on a bear instead. Great monstrous thing. Burley, you didn't make it. I don't know what I'll tell his wife. In any case, the ford's already cost me a friend. I'm heading back home before it takes anything else. Who are you? Name's Nanta. Born and raised in Gilded Valley. Haven't had a spot of love since. Luckier than early, I suppose. In any case, this ford's already cost me a friend. Where did you find this bear? In a cave a ways up that way. He turns to point to the northwest. I wouldn't seek it out if I were you. It was a great brute of a beast. Would hate to hear that it took another life. We didn't see it coming. Norton's voice shakes a little as he speaks. We were following a stag. Hurley, he saw something in the brambles, and we went tearing off after it. We almost stumbled into the cave. Poor Hurley didn't stand a chance. The bear was on top of him before we knew what was happening. Beasts will take what they will, I suppose. And this time, Gallowayne's favor fell upon the bear. That's fun. So what you're saying is I should absolutely go in that direction. Well, I get the feeling if I actually go this way. Alright, so that's a way back. Young wolf home. Let's not mince words.
Slow down. We got time to catch our breath.
Do we, though? Keep expecting to be ambushed. Oh, that looks like what we're looking for. Let's go get ourselves good and moitered. There's the bear. Can I beat it? Probably not. Let's find out. Yeah, I'd say I'm not winning that. Yeah, I'd say I'm not winning that yet.
Sure.
Alrighty, so I guess in that case, I may as well call it soon. So, question is, what all is there that shall be waiting for us? Honestly, at this point... Well, Gilded Vale, here we come. Alright, it looks like that's... You know what, this is actually probably a good place to call it. It's a little... Well, I usually go on for 2 hours instead of an hour and a half, which is what OBS is currently saying I've been at, but you know what? Given that this is the start of a cRPG, this actually seems like a good place to call it for now. Because this way, I can speculate a little bit as to how things are going to proceed, and this should act as a clean break for when we inevitably jump back into it. So, to give an idea as to what to expect moving forward, I'm thinking this will probably be the dominant thing that I stream on Saturdays from now until it's done. I went looking online to see how long it generally takes people to get through this, so I suspect that given how long I was seeing it take people complete this, that this is going to occupy the bulk of our time, to put it mildly. So, we'll see whether that ends up bearing out. At this point, I'm very curious to see how this will play out. So already, they've got a neat start to it that's still leaving the door open for all sorts of shenanigans to happen, but there is a direction to move in, with some sort of antagonistic force that we don't quite understand yet. But it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. It's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out. So, here's hoping it continues to be interesting, and it looks like it is proper real-time with pause, so it's pretty natural conclusion to what I had just done with KOTOR and Icewind Dale 2, so yeah, I'm looking forward to this. This will be a nice thing to do on Saturdays. As for other streaming stuff, I may do a couple things on Sunday to finish up a game I started a couple of weeks ago, but apart from that, I'm going to keep that largely open so that I can finish going through a couple other games that I don't intend to stream. So, besides that, thank you all for watching, and I will see you next week for more shenanigans. This should be fun.